Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to another episode of the Guest Who series. My name is Faith. I'm an HR professional and Nigerian immigrant based in Toronto, Canada. If this is your first time here, please make sure you use that subscribe button and also click on the notification bell so when I post a new video, you will hurry down and watch it. Today, I am so excited because I have such a cool person with me recording this. You know how I like to do, I like to have people with me recording. So yeah, his name is Shane. He's an amazing person. Honestly, he's probably one of the nicest persons I've met since I relocated to Canada. All those people that know a little bit about everything. Yeah, those people. That's the kind of person he is. Like, he knows so much about everything, and I have really benefited from my interactions with him. So I was like, come, I just need you to come on my channel. So yes, let me not talk too much. Without further ado, drum roll please, introducing my guest. Hi Shane.
Hi Faith, thank you for
Hello.
such a nice introduction. I hope I can come close to how you described me.
You will, don't worry, no pressure, but yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, exactly. So yeah, it's so cool to have you here. I mean, I am so excited that we are finally doing this. So what's up? What's going on? As in, how is, you are one of the people I know that was born and brought up and everything in Ontario. So just in terms of, yeah, maybe you want to tell us a bit about, living and growing up in Ontario, because some of us immigrants, we definitely cannot relate, right? Like, and so many people can't relate. So this is where you come in. So yeah, you can just take it away.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up in Ontario in kind of like in Midtown Toronto, around like Avenue and Eglinton, Yonge and Eglinton area. So it was a lot of fun as a kid to kind of just go, and got used to riding my bike all over the city. I definitely think Toronto is more of a bikeable city than people give it some credit for. But yeah, it was nice. A lot of my family grew up around the same area as me, so I had cousins close by. I played a lot of basketball outside. I don't think I'm not the prototypical Canadian who likes hockey, so I don't know if that's like a red strike against me.
That's a red strike.
Okay,
Everybody loves hockey.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Ever since I was, I think, 10 years old, I stopped playing hockey. I know how to skate. And I know how to play. I've always preferred basketball. And I think, judging off the Raptors, our local professional basketball team, winning the championship, I think I chose the right sport.
Right. You certainly did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just in terms of some of us are new to the city. Some of us are still coming here to join other folks here. So are there like fun spots that we can go to and cool places? Honestly, Shane, I've told you this many times. I've been in Canada for like a year, but literally I've only gone to maybe a few places, and that's because of the lockdown. But I am trying to expand my reach and explore more of the city. So are there like fun places that we can go to, and maybe like any landmarks, any cool stuff that you want to talk about?
Absolutely. Also, I'm pretty sure I gave you a list of places to go check out. So you're running out of excuses of not going to explore.
You did.
But yeah, no, like I couldn't agree more. Like the whole GTA, the Greater Toronto area, there's so much to explore, and especially with lockdown and limits on traveling, I found that even for me growing up in Toronto, I've explored more of the city and surrounding areas and province than I thought I would in a long time. So a big one for me was I had never been to the Scarborough Bluffs. They're this beautiful, ecological, environmental landmark. I wish I knew more about it, but I can't really talk about it. They have these very cool sand cliffs that are just east of downtown Toronto in Scarborough, about 20-30 minute drive, and they're massive and they're so unique. It's something that you think you would be in a very popular beach town, because you see a nice beach that goes right beside them, and there's some beautiful hiking paths that go around there too. So that was traveling, kind of being a tourist in your own city, or if you recently immigrated, being a tourist in your new city.
Right.
So I think that was like a great one for me. But a lot of the summer too, just going to like some of my favorite places in the city would be going to like Hyde Park to walk around. It's a beautiful giant park on the west side of Toronto, or going to Tommy Thompson Park, or also it's called the Leslie Street Spit. It's this nice park that's just all along the waterfront that actually stretches really far out into the water. So on the south side of Toronto, we have the Toronto Island. And if the island is here, the spit actually curves around it this way, and it goes farther than the island. So you can kind of like look back and see the island. You can look back and see the CN Tower in downtown Toronto. It's really, really great. But otherwise, you can usually just find me going through some of my favorite neighborhoods like Kensington Market or Little Italy or the Annex, just eating a little bit of everything.
Right. Honestly, Shane, I mean, you gave me that list. I'll definitely revisit that list, but yeah.
I can guarantee you each of those places were on that list, and then some.
Oh, God. What I'll do is, guys, I'm going to link it in the description box. I'll put everything that Shane gave to me. He gave me a list of very cool places to visit, because I was telling him, like, I don't know anywhere in Toronto. So he gave me some cool places. So I'm going to put that list as well in the description box. So if you want to check out those places, please do. Okay, so I know before we started, I don't think I ever mentioned that. So before we go into like pop culture and all the other cool stuff, I just want to delve a little bit, just a little bit. Guys, Shane is actually in HR. He's he's more in the systems aspect, which is like the back end guys that make all the stuff happen. Like, he's so resourceful. Oh my God. Anyway, so yeah, I think maybe we can just talk a little bit about, like HR systems. Like, is it like for someone who is in HR and maybe looking to move into HR systems, like, do you think what exactly does the role encapsulate, and like what kind of skills do you think that a person would need? I mean, nothing too technical, but yeah, you can just
for sure. So I think what I've definitely learned a lot more about the systems side. I've been kind of working on the HRIS team, which is just Human Resources Information System, for about 2.5, 3 years now. Kind of more dedicated on that side. It's really where, and depending on what part, because you can be very technical on the back end side of the system, or the role that I've found myself in is kind of where people meet technology. So I kind of come to it with my own experience, like previous experience in HR, or just being kind of a minor techie person, heavy on the minor, but with like a willingness and an openness to learn, where you kind of just go in, you pick up new sides of the system that you're working on or the tech that you're working on, and then you learn how to translate that and kind of explain it to other members of the team. So that could be through everything like writing user manuals and training guides. That can be through one-on-one training sessions. Faith, I know you and I have definitely had a lot of those.
Had a lot of those.
And I didn't put you to sleep as far as I know,
Nope,
but the
I
cameras
was
were off
wide
sometime.
awake.
Okay.
Don't worry, I wasn't sleeping on the other end. Trust me.
Perfect. Just yesterday. That's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's because I really find that that's kind of where the people meets technology is like a really big part of it, or at least where I've found my niche within HR systems.
Okay. So, I mean, I think, because I know a couple of people who might be interested in that. So it's always good to hear from someone who is currently in that role and just see. But do you think that are there any challenges, like, that you think maybe someone coming into that role will probably face? I mean, maybe it could
Absolutely.
be general, but yeah.
Even one as simple as like I've learned a whole lot about the one HR system that I work on now, but the truth is just that there's so many out there, and while there's a lot of similarities to each one, there's also a lot of intricate details that make one system that you're using different from another one. So like some of the big ones that people may have heard of are like Ceridian Dayforce, UKG, Altipro. Those are very common. Workday is probably the most popular one now. Well, yeah, I think probably the most popular one now. So a lot that you might know about Altipro or UKG might not translate over to Workday.
Yeah, for sure.
And vice versa. But there's always room to learn. There's always new certifications and programs and just fantastic online resources. Like I've used LinkedIn Learning a lot. Okay. It's really helped me expand my own knowledge. And luckily, too, I know that if you have a Toronto Public Library card, it's 100% free.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Guys, take notes. That's cool. Okay. So yeah, anyway, enough about HR. Let's go into the more, well, HR is fun, but you know what I mean. Let's go into the other fun stuff. So now let's talk about maybe pop culture in Canada, sports and all of that stuff. Honestly, Shane, between you and I, sometimes when you are as an immigrant or someone who did not grow up in Canada, when you're in a space where maybe you're talking with your colleagues or you're with a group of people and like you're the only one who doesn't know anything about what they're talking about. Like when they start to talk about sports and you're like, huh? Like, I really, because, back in Nigeria, for instance, we play more of, well, we call it football back in Nigeria, but that's what you guys call soccer here, right? So, so that's, if you're talking about soccer, then maybe a Nigerian will probably be able to, talk about that. But then when you guys start to talk about, your Canadian stuff, we get all lost. So it's good to, hear from you. Maybe you have a few things you want to touch on, maybe the sports or maybe TV shows, because it will always be, it will be nice to be able to, what's the word now? Be in that conversation and actually participate.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, speaking specifically for Toronto sports, what makes it so great and unique is it's a city that has one of every major sports team. Like my personal favorite, I think isn't a surprise, would be the Toronto Raptors, their basketball team. The Maple Leafs, big hockey team. The Blue Jays for baseball, they're doing really well right now. And then soccer or football, how it's known to basically all of the world outside of North America, all the world outside of US and Canada. Like the Toronto FC, very popular team too. So I definitely think what's nice about it is like I was talking about growing up, I never really cared about any sport other than basketball. I still found my niche and my friends that cared about basketball, and you and I could be in the office with 5 other people talking about hockey, and we would both be just as lost. I would have no idea what people are
talking
about.
Now I know that I'm not alone. Thank you, Shane.
Of course. But that's what I think is really nice, is that you can just, I guess it's just kind of talking to people and seeing who's interested in what. And that's how, not all of my friends, but most of my friends are more into basketball than we are into hockey. And so we would normal times get together to watch a basketball game or something like that, rather than hockey or baseball or anything like that. And it was funny when you were talking about, well, let's call it football instead of soccer. The first thing that came to my mind right now is a TV show called Ted Lasso that I really, really like. I don't know if we've talked about it before.
No, we haven't.
I think it's gaining a lot of popularity. I know the first season was really, really popular, and then the second season is going well too, and it just won a bunch of Emmys. So the TV show awards. So I think it's going to be really popular again soon. But it's about an American football coach. So throwing, this is where you're going to Photoshop a football into my hand, right?
Well, I don't know if I have that skill, but I will try.
Okay. Well, we'll pretend like you did.
Yeah.
So it's an American football coach who goes over to the UK and coaches a Premier League team, which is, from the very little understanding I have, one of the highest levels of football / soccer there.
Right.
And so it kind of is like a bit of a fish out of water scenario. He's trying to learn about how to coach a sport that he's never coached before. But it's probably my favorite show on right now. It's a really, really great show. And for someone who couldn't care less about football / soccer, I still really, really love that show.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, see, honestly, thank God you didn't go so deep with the football or anything. It's not like I really know so much about sports.
You fooled me.
I am terrible at it, but thank God I fooled you. So it's cool. Let's just leave it there. Okay. So before I go into I'm definitely going to have to teach you some Nigerian slangs before we leave this. I
am not ready, but I will try.
Don't worry, Shane. Pidgin English is not that difficult. But anyway, before we go into that, so just on a general note, what advice would you have for, what would you advise people who are coming into the country as immigrants, coming specifically into maybe Toronto or Ontario in general,
I think number one, I think, well, in all honesty, I think you definitely would have much better advice than I do as someone who recently went through that experience. But I guess what I would say too is definitely explore, no matter where you move to, explore your city, because there's a lot of amazing local tourism no matter where you move to. And I guess if we're speaking, like, I can only speak from my experience living in and around Toronto. I think that it's an amazing city that has so much to offer and so much to explore and so many amazing programs. So a big one that we've talked about before is Active TO. It's a great initiative that they close down major parts of very busy streets like Lakeshore or Bayview, right in the heart of the city. They close it to cars and they say, hey, anyone who wants to go there, ride your bike, rollerblade, scooter, walk, jog, dance, do whatever you want. Just enjoy having a nice big open space, which I think is an absolutely amazing initiative. Another one that I actually went to recently was the Art Gallery of Ontario. The AGO is a beautiful big museum. And Faith, I've lived here my whole life. I don't think I've ever been until a week ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just kind of, I don't know. You just miss things sometimes. But every single Wednesday night, they give it's free tickets. So all you have to do is go on their website, book a ticket, and then you can go in and walk around the museum for free. And whether you're a person who likes to go to museums or not, the building is a really, really unique, cool building as well. So even just going and walking around the building is such an amazing time. And then one other one that it didn't happen this year, but hopefully, fingers crossed, will happen next year. Yeah, it's a program called Doors Open or Open Doors, one of the two. But it's a program run by, I believe it's the Toronto government, and a bunch of interesting, unique buildings and businesses just open their doors for free to the public for a whole weekend. And they say, hey, you think that this place is really cool and interesting? We're going to set up tour guides. We're going to have people there to answer questions. Come in, check it out, talk to us, and see what it's like. So I know that I went to one, this would have been probably 2 years ago now. It's a architecture school in Toronto. And when you see it, it's like a mixture of a very old church with a beautiful new modern looking building, which is the architecture school, kind of all in one. So it was incredible that I could just walk into a place that wasn't normally open to the public, ask some people some questions, and then just kind of explore by myself for a while.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so, thank you, Shane.
But even though these are just local examples, I know that friends that I have that live in London or Stratford and Guelph would tell you the exact same things about their local cities. There's no shortage of places to visit and explore. I think I'm just very biased towards the GTA.
Well, rightly so. I mean, so yeah, honestly, thank you. I have definitely added to my lists, and I will put everything in the description box for you guys. So guys, there's so much to explore in Ontario. If you really want to come here, please, you are super welcome. And don't worry, I can act as your tour guide, maybe by the time I visit some of those places. So yeah. Okay, so Shane, this is the part that I've been waiting for because I need to make you a Nigerian by association. Anyway, so okay, I'm just going to tell you. So, we have what we call Pidgin English in Nigeria. It's more like, so it's kind of like English, but not really English. Let's put it that way. So kind of like broken English. So imagine someone who is speaking English, but is not speaking it correctly, right? So I'm going to tell you. Let me just get my notes here. So just a few I'm just going to go over maybe a few of them. So I'll tell you what the English meaning is, like what you would typically say if you were speaking regular English. So basic one. So you know the way you would say how are you, right? I mean, like, how are you doing when you're saying hello to somebody? We would typically say how you day. So do you want to try how you day? I think that one's
how you day.
Yeah, how you day, exactly. Oh, shit.
How you day. So
very
like
natural.
D-E-E?
More like D-E-Y.
Thank you. D-E-Y, how you day.
Yeah,
okay.
How you day. See? Or so maybe when you see your friend, you're like, hey guy, how you day? That's how we we kind of greet ourselves. So it's pretty much saying, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" That's pretty much it. So you see, pretty straightforward.
Quicker, more efficient, easier way too.
Exactly. Then you know the way you go in Canada here, we say, "Oh, no worries," you know. So ours is more like no wahala.
No wahala.
No wahala. Ah, Shane, are you sure you're not Nigerian? Should we check your? You seem to be pronouncing them
we'll run
well.
a check. I'm not sure.
Okay, so yeah, no wahala. So the way you say you're no worries. Then if you want to say, like maybe you're like, oh, that guy is such a know-it-all, you know, we would say the guy is an oversabi.
Oh, okay. We just jumped up level. Oh, wait, the guy is a no.
Like when
I
you say
heard
someone
no
is a know-it.
wasabi.
Oh, okay, no. So more like a know-it-all. Like you always like to feel like you know everything about everything. So you know that's what you would say when you're speaking English. But for us, we would just say this guy is an oversabi.
So nova sabi.
Over, so more like over, O-V-E-R.
Oh, ovasabi.
then-
Okay, at
yeah,
first I thought you said wasabi, like
Oh,
that you
okay.
get with sushi, and I think that threw off everything else in my head.
Right.
Ovasabi. Okay.
Oversabi. So you just say, this guy is an oversabi. You know, like yeah. So see, pretty easy. And then when you say, oh, don't bust my bubble, like in English, right? Like, oh, maybe someone is talking and then you interrupt and you're like, oh, or maybe you say, maybe someone is giving an idea and you're like, oh, your idea sucks, you know, that kind of thing. So when, in English, where you would say, oh, don't bust my bubble, we would say, don't pour sand in my gari. Let me break it down for you. So gari
Wait, I think I got it. Don't pour some sand in my gari.
Yeah, let me say it better.
Okay.
Actually, no pour sand for my gari. That's actually that's how you say
Okay.
it. No
pour
pour
sasan. Pour my gari or for my gari?
for my gari.
For my gari. Okay.
So let me break it down. More like don't put sand. So gari in Nigeria is like cereal. You know the way, like, that's the only way I can describe it. So imagine someone putting actual sand in your cereal, right? Obviously you won't be able to eat it anymore. So it'd have
to be some really good cereal.
Shane, no way. Nobody's
You never
gonna
know.
eat that. So yeah,
definitely not good anymore.
Exactly. So that's what it. So it's like, don't pour sand. Just putting it literally, it's like, don't pour sand in my gari. So gari meaning the cereal. But if you want to say it in broken English, you say, no pour sand for my gari.
No pour sasan for my gari.
I mean, Shane.
I'd say I got like what 40% on that.
Well, I'll say maybe about 60. You know,
I'll take a passing grade.
Short. Yeah. Then when you want to say someone is a gossip, so you know the way you say, oh, Faith is a gossip. She's such a gossip. Ours is so gossip is amebo.
Amebo.
Yeah, amebo. So you say Faith is an amebo.
Faith is an amebo. Okay.
Yeah, as against Faith is a gossip.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
I'll write that one down in case I have to use it tomorrow.
Don't worry, nobody will understand except the person is from Nigeria.
That's true.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, Shane, what's amebo? And then you have to like explain. But yeah, it would be cool. So maybe you want to talk about someone behind their back. You're like, oh, she's such an amebo. Anyway, so yeah, that's cool. And then let you off easy. The final one. You know the way you guys, when you're talking to someone and you're like, hey, and you're like, man, that was so cool. So that man there, right? As oh boy.
So it's oh boy.
Oh boy. So more like the way it's spelled is O-H, and then boy, B-O-Y. But
I'm picturing like if you're going like oh man with like a bunch of A's, you got to have a couple H's and a couple U's for like an oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, I feel like that's part of it. You have to stretch it out.
Yeah, stretch it out.
I can only speak for the Canadian side. I don't know.
Yeah, on the Nigerian side, you have to stretch it out. So maybe someone is talking and you're like, and you're really enjoying what the person is saying, your friend, and you're like, oh boy, no, you know that kind of thing. So you have to kind of like stretch it out. So, oh boy, I'm sure you got that, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Exactly. So you see, very easy slang. Very straightforward.
I've learned something new every day.
Exactly. So, maybe next time you see your friends, you'll be like, oh boy, how far now? And he's gonna be like, Shane, what happened to you?
Yeah, they're just like, are you okay? What's going on?
Are you okay? Exactly.
But then I get to teach them something.
Yeah, you get to teach them something. Exactly. So yeah, that's the way it works. So yes, you've been fantastic. Honestly, I would score you, let me be generous. I'll probably score you a 65, 70. Not so bad. Very close to it.
I'll take first time, that's pretty good. I'll take
Yeah, exactly. So yes, don't sell yourself short. So yeah, Shane, I think this is where we're going to pause on this video. I mean, it's been so cool having you on my show. I am super, super excited. And yeah, I've learned a lot from you. Likewise, you have learned some Nigerian slangs. So yeah, we should totally, who knows, we might end up doing this again, but you never know, right?
We'll have an update to see what places that you end up visiting in the fall, and go check out all the leaves changing. That's one of the best times of the year too. Exactly.
I would totally I'm planning to take advantage of the fall. So yes, don't worry, Shane. I'll go to every place on that list. Every place.
Looking forward to it.
Cool. All right. So Shane, thank you very much. And guys, you know what to do. If you like everything that has happened here today, leave Shane a thumbs up, like this video, and also subscribe to my channel. I will be having a lot of guests coming through, and I have a lot of videos that are also coming up. So you want to watch this space. So like, subscribe, and also share. People are looking for fun places to go to in Toronto. So please share this video so that they can all be aware. All right, guys. So from me and Shane, it is goodbye. Bye, Shane.
Bye, Faye. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Bye.